Found it.
Okay. Yay. Well, thank you, Sarah, for being here. I don't have an elaborate introduction for you, but I'm just happy you're taking some time with us this Friday. And I'm happy that everyone was able to show up and maybe we'll get a few more. Um, I think we're ready to get started on the saboteurs. I would probably say that wrong.
No, you got it. I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I love RAB. I love to see that people are knowing about it and using it. So I think coaching is a really powerful tool when you're facing adversity. And so there's really, in my opinion, nothing more important. So welcome. I'm really glad you guys are here. Today we're talking about mental fitness, and part of that is the saboteurs. And I spend a lot of time coaching on this, talking about this. And I decided on a walk yesterday. Mental fitness to me is about finding your home, which is yourself, your peaceful, most at ease self. That is your home. And when I was going through treatment, I did not have that. I wasn't friends with my home. So that was the first thing I had to learn. And then the more I find that, the more I can access that home. And to me, that is mental fitness because life is always going to give us opportunities for adversity. It's going to be throwing us curveballs. That's its job. And the resilience piece is how fast you can take what life hands you and then come back to your home when you can. And it doesn't mean that you fake or you pretend that these things aren't happening or toxic positivity or showing up in any way that's different than your authentic self. I believe in showing up exactly as you feel, but how can we get back to that place that we feel our best a little bit faster? So before we start, I wanted to just have you think for a second. We're gonna close our eyes and I just want you to tap into your home and then I'm gonna help you find it and I'm gonna then ask you some questions about it. So if you're comfortable softening your gaze or closing your eyes, go ahead and do that and I'm going to do that with you. So just soften your gaze and just notice first how you feel in this moment. Don't judge anything or change anything. But do you feel maybe tension somewhere? Sometimes I feel like a buzzy feeling, like I'm just going and going and going, and I can feel that buzz in my body. Um, do you feel any pain anywhere? Don't change it. And start to notice your breath. Is it deep or short? Is it long or shallow? Okay, now I'm going to allow you to change it. So I want you to start off by taking two deep breaths. Deep inhale and a deep exhale, and see if you can make your exhale longer. So we'll do it together. We're going to inhale for 4 and exhale for 6. So inhale and now exhale for 6. Inhale for 4 and exhale for 6. Now take 2 deep breaths just on your own. Okay. Now I'd like to see if you can make yourself 10% more comfortable. Just relax your shoulders a little bit. Release any tension in your jaw or in your hands. Just see if you can get a little bit more comfortable. And now begin to notice any sounds that you hear in the room. See if you can find the sound that's the furthest away. And now find the sound that's closest to you. Now, keeping your eyes closed, I'd like you to put your thumb and your index finger together. And I'd like you to start making tiny circles. Notice any sensations that you have as you Move your fingertips with such careful attention that you can feel the ridges of your fingerprints. Noticing texture, temperature. Now put all of your fingertips together and do the same thing. All of your attention on the sensations you feel. Now allow your hands to explore each other, noticing where you feel sensations more strongly or less strong. Any tingling, just gently exploring. And now put all of your attentions on the bottoms of your feet. If your feet are on the ground, see if you can notice the pressure points. There's two under the balls of your feet and two under the heel. And can you sense any texture, any temperature, any tingling or sensation? Now I want you to take another deep breath, a deep inhale and an exhale, and notice how you feel. Before you open your eyes, I want you to know that this is your baseline for peace. It's so important that you know what this feeling is, that you are intimately connected to what peace feels like in your body, so that you know when you're in it and you know when you're out of it. It's not about being here all the time. It's about knowing when you're not here and being able to get back here when you need to. So maybe it starts off with finding it and holding it for 5 seconds or 10 seconds. Maybe you can hold it for a minute. This is mental fitness. When you're ready, open your eyes, and in the chat box, I would love for you to just write what you noticed, either the before or after, or what you're feeling now, anything that you noticed in taking those few minutes. Our fingertips are kind of magical. These are energy sensors. Great. So we're all born with this being our baseline. And our life experiences have taught us to find other places to inhabit, I'd say. And what we're going to talk about next is our saboteurs, these other places that we inhabit. And so, no matter how good your childhood was, whether you had the best childhood or the worst childhood, it doesn't matter. You were all born with strengths. And we lean on these strengths because they help us feel seen and safe and heard and protected. It helps us feel loved. And over time, our strengths became really big. We really leaned on them. For example, one of my strengths is that I can read a room. I can be really helpful. I can care for others and I can put their needs ahead of mine. I can sense how someone's doing, sometimes even before them. Over time, those strengths turned me into a people pleaser. Now, becoming a people pleaser has a saboteur side and it also has a sage side. As a sage, it's all those wonderful things like I'm super loving and I'm easy to love. But the saboteur side is that I no longer take action on my needs and it can come as a cost. So over time, that saboteur can become so big that the downfall of the saboteur is bigger than the benefit of the strengths. I've lost my strengths because those muscles have gotten so big. And the way we return and get back to that place that we just found is by becoming more present, by noticing when we have saboteurs, sensing into them, and then taking the actions that we just took for 1 minute, 30 seconds, 10 seconds, 2 minutes to get back to that place. Because when we're in that place we found, that baseline, that's when we are the most capable, the most creative, the most productive, which is surprising. It is surprising. You are the most productive. You are your best version of yourself. So we want to keep getting back to that as soon as we can. So the problem is not that we have these patterns. It's the problem is that they run the show. And when we have been through treatment, cancer, whether as you're a caregiver or you're the patient yourself, we have so much uncertainty in our lives. It's such a hard time that those voices can get really loud. And so it's a really big opportunity for us to notice the voices because they're always around. So before I go any further, I want to know what patterns have helped you to survive that may be exhausting you. Ashley, would you mind throwing up that poll? There we go.
I think it posted all of the questions, or did it?
Oh, it did post all of them. That's fine.
Okay.
You know what? Go ahead and
First
answer
time
them
for
all.
everything.
First time for everything. Yeah, next time you would just put each one in a separate poll, but go ahead and answer all three, please. I wonder how it'll give me the answers.
Did it post the poll in the chat for everybody?
I see it. Yeah. Do you all see the poll?
Okay.
Cindy doesn't see it.
Wonder if it's
It should have popped up.
phone. I see answers coming through.
Okay. I answered too. Well, Cindy, I'll tell you that the first question was, what protective pattern has helped you to survive? And you can just think about it. Pushing yourself, worrying and preparing, taking care of others, avoiding discomfort, or trying to stay in control. Actually, do we have enough answers to share?
I think so. Um, oh, I guess I have. I actually can't do the poll, but I can share the results.
Oh, great.
So the top couple on what pattern has helped you survive are pushing myself and worrying slash preparing. And then we also had, and then
Okay, hold
time,
on. Pushing yourself is a hyperachiever.
and
Okay. And
then
then
worrying and preparing.
worrying and preparing is hypervigilant. Those are the two saboteurs. So the now you've taken the poll. Many of you have taken the quiz that got sent to you, but that's what our little mini poll told us that those are the two that are affecting us the most right now. But the king of all saboteurs is the judge. Everybody has it. We're always judging, and we judge in three categories. We judge ourselves, we judge others, and we judge the circumstance. So I'll ask you that, and I'll go ahead and feel free to put it in the chat. Which one do you feel is the strongest in you recently? Judging yourself, judging others, or judging the circumstance? You know that the judge is around because you're saying things like should. He should, I should. Myself. We got a lot of myself. Okay, I'm with you on that. I'm totally here for you. So some of the judge statements might be, I should be handling this better. I should be stronger. I shouldn't feel this way. I wish I was coping better. Cancer creates the perfect environment for us to judge and for us to get really loud because it's such a time of uncertainty. We feel a loss of control and the fear is really real. I personally felt great pressure to stay positive, stay grateful, stay helpful, to not be a burden. Do you all feel some of these things? I would think so. Well, just know that you are not alone. This is inherent in the judge. It's always thinking and it's always talking. So the sage is that baseline that we found that's inside of you. That's the judge is quiet there. And the judge is not, let me say this right. The sage isn't denying your situation. It's not denying what's happening. It's not toxic positivity. It is just present. It's in this moment. And it can have more clarity than coming from the place of the judge. So the goal is not to eliminate the judge, it's to notice it. They say catch it and to choose not to react from that place. So, what that looks like in real time, you are in the kitchen, you are doing dishes. This is gonna be a judge on somebody else because that's where I am right now. I got a house full of kids. I'm in the kitchen, I'm doing the dishes, and I'm immediately thinking, I can't believe you left this dish here. That's so disrespectful. You could have put this away. What do you think I am, your maid? I'm immediately judging them, and I'm about to say something. And it's not going to be nice, right? I'm going to yell at, like, whatever I'm going to say. Why did you? We have people coming over. This is so rude. I asked you to do this and you didn't. If I catch myself feeling those judge feelings, which for me, tightness in the chest, I have something in my throat starts to get tight because I know I have something I want to say. I start to feel annoyed and agitated. Now you know you are not coming from your sage, you're coming from your saboteur. Can you stop and get back home? For me, in reality, it started off by doing those things that we did earlier. They're called PQ reps. It started off by constantly going back and doing those PQ reps. Stop, notice your breath, notice your feet, fingertips. Now, for me, it can look like go outside, put your feet in the grass, take a deep breath, come back inside. For you, it could be go pet the dog, get yourself a glass of water. The goal is to come back to that home. From there, you're going to say something very different. You're not going to react. You're going to be more compassionate and understanding. And what you say is going to be way better received. And for me, that might have looked like, hey guys, I'm feeling overwhelmed in the kitchen. Can you guys come in here and help me out? Very different. Everyone catching on what I'm saying here? Any questions before I go any further? No, it's all ringing a bell, I think. Okay. So, what they say about PQ is that our reactions are yes, very much so. Okay, is that our reactions are very hot. So, and they're reactive. It's like putting your hand on a hot stove. There you are. You put your hand on the hot stove. You feel the burn. So, without even thinking, you lift your hand up. We have that same opportunity with our thoughts, with our saboteurs. The problem is that we keep our hand on the stove too long. You know you're reacting, you know the judge is here, you know the people pleaser is here, and you're like, yeah, this is how I live. This is fine. What we want to know, what's so crucial to know, is that we only need to have those thoughts for 1 second, 1 to 3 seconds. That's all you need to take action and do something about it. But I mean, I'll sit in that judge, saboteur, people pleaser for days. How many projects have you not finished and you beat yourself up about it for like, I'll lose a whole night on it? No. I noticed that this is my people pleaser. I know that I didn't make whoever happy. Great. It's okay. Can I put that down? Can I come back to my home and respond from another place? Um, Let's see. Any questions about the judge? I want to get to some of the other saboteurs. Okay, I'm going to move on. As I go through these, don't judge yourself. We all have them. Every single person has them. Your job is to notice. Okay. So, hyperachiever, this person thinks that their productivity is their worth. You are very comfortable doing the to-do list. You are not very comfortable resting. And a good day is a day that you're like, oh my God, I got 15 things off my to-do list. I got stuff done. This is your hyperachiever, hyper producer. And it can become especially hard during treatment because our bodies are not as capable of producing and doing. In post treatment, it's also hard because you have this understanding, a different level of understanding about what's important and what's not, but you have these patterns of doing, and resting can seem so uncomfortable and foreign. So
Awesome.
we need to relearn how to rest a little bit. So, okay, I would really like to do this because it's a small group. What I would like for everybody to turn your cameras on real quick, just so we know who's going to be playing this next activity. This is about like finding your tribe and being seen and heard. So if you can, put your camera on for 1 second. Okay, can everybody see everybody? Okay, if you don't have your camera on, that's fine, but just know that we're really only looking at the ones with the camera on. Okay, now I'm going to turn the cameras, everyone's going to turn their camera off, and I'm going to make a statement. And if it's true for you, you're going to turn your camera on. Okay, so everybody go camera off. Um, how do I turn my camera off? Okay, got it. Camera off. Okay, here's the statement. Do you feel pressure to stay strong, positive, or grateful? Turn your camera on if that's you. Well, hello. You are not alone. This is your tribe. Okay, camera's off. Do you feel uncomfortable when you're resting? Okay, ladies, this is your tribe. Go ahead and turn the cameras off. Does your worth feel connected to how productive you are? Okay, cameras off. Let me see if I have one more. I do not. Sorry, camera's back on. Kind of fun, right? Does everyone feel a little bit seen that you're a little less alone? Okay. So this hyperachiever is going to stop you from resting. And I will stand on this soapbox for the next 30 minutes and talk about how important it is for you to, in whatever way, find time to rest. And I'm going to tell you why. You get this one body. This is your longest relationship that you have ever had and you will ever have. And I find that women deny this connection in this body for other people and for producing. Here's an example. I have to go to the bathroom, and I am not going to go until I finish this project. So there I am doing the project, and I have to go to the bathroom. And this is what I'm saying to my body. This project that I'm doing, this email that I'm getting out is more important than you. I'm not willing to do that anymore. I don't want you to be willing to do that anymore. When you are tired, you rest. When you feel agitated, you notice, you take a breath, you go outside. When you have to go to the bathroom, go. Here's a big one. If I'm getting into the pleaser. Hold on, let me think about this. When we wear ourselves out, okay, you have a cup full of water every morning. Okay, you are a full cup. And when we get into our grounded space, our sage, our baseline, that fills us up. So you can tap back into that anytime. But throughout the day, everything you do is an expenditure of your energy. It's costing you cortisol and it is costing you water from your cup. But when do you put water back into your cup? And how do we do that? And it can be any way. I have a million ideas for ways to do it, but the job for you is to commit to you, your most important relationship. So people pleasers, hyperachievers, they really need you to start putting yourself as the priority. In um, the chat box, I would love for you to write one thing that you are willing to do to refill your cup and choose you over productivity. One thing could be teeny tiny, could be all I will take a nap. I will go outside when I notice. I will go to the bathroom when I need to go to the bathroom. I will say no when somebody asks me to work late or stay late or drive their kid. I will say no once a week to a request. Okay. Okay, we've got some answers in there. Keep them coming. I want you to make sure that you commit to one thing. So, as we talked about, our saboteurs are overused strengths, and our hyperachiever has strengths. It serves us, it helps us to drive, it helps us to commit, it helps us to be resilient, it helps us to be productive, but it also comes at a cost. And that cost is sometimes your well being. When rest can feel uncomfortable and unsafe, you know that this saboteur is taking its toll on you. When you feel guilty for slowing down, when you feel pressure to stay strong, your worth was never dependent on your productivity. I like to say you are worthy eating ice cream with a bag of chips, having done nothing that day but get up and get another spoon. You are just as worthy of love as if you had spent the whole day doing the to-do list. When I was first married and right up until age 52, when my husband would come in the door and he would say, "Oh, what'd you do today?" I was like on fire. I was so annoyed. I was like, "What are you asking me what I did today?" And then I would like rattle off all these things that I did. Like I'm proving my worth and like listing off all these things. And then I had cancer and I learned to really slow down. And he stopped asking what I did that day because I didn't do anything that day. But now I'm 3 years out and at first, as soon as I finished, he's like, "What'd you do today?" I was like, "Well, I wrote a book and published it. Well, I have 15 clients and I went to the grocery store and I was doing all these things." And then I just got to the stage of my life more recently where I just completely slowed down. He's like, "What'd you do today?" I was like, "You want to see my needlepoint?" Like I really slowed down. I'm still working, but I'm more proud of the things I didn't do than the things I did do. So in whatever way you're comfortable embracing this, in whatever phase, I just want you to take the time for you. There's only one you, and this is the most important thing. A healthy body is the best thing you can do for anybody that you love. Okay, let's take a breath, and I want you to close your eyes and ask yourself, can you believe that you're worthy even when you're less productive? Now I want to ask you this. Who do you need permission from to rest? Just tap back into that baseline while we're here. Find that sage part of you. Notice your heartbeat. Notice sounds. That baseline is found through our senses. So it could be taste, touch, smell, hear, feel. Well, let's do this while we're here. Put both hands on your heart and gently press. Notice how this feels. This is like a self hug. When we do this, it releases oxytocin and serotonin. Notice how it feels. Okay, when you're ready, open your eyes. Any questions about our hyperachiever? Because we're going to talk about the people pleaser next. Check our chat. Oh, good job. I'm looking in the chat box. You guys are doing great. Okay. People pleaser. I'm huge people pleaser. You think you're a people pleaser? Anybody? Oh, interesting. Okay, great. Um, the people pleaser protects others from discomfort and disappointment, and it can show up a lot with cancer. Sometimes people spend more energy comforting others than they do themselves. I know I did. Worried about how other people felt or whether I was helping them feel needed and a part of my life while I was on this journey, answering their questions, even though it wasn't a good time for me to be answering their questions. So the one of the polls was, what's harder for you, asking for help or receiving help? And Ashley, do we have the answer to that?
And it was 6-2. Asking for help was the hardest one.
Okay, in the chat box, I would love for you to tell me what makes asking for help so hard. Okay, well, we've got the judge. The judge is in cahoots with the people pleaser, which I get. Um, it's hard to be vulnerable. I usually just feel like I can do it all and the satisfaction when I do. Same as you, Ashley. Ashley, asking for help can be hard for me because my belief that I should be able to handle things myself. Okay. Okay. Um, Raise your hand if you like helping other people. Like you feel good when you help other people. Oh, wow. Those were fast hands. Okay. And yet you're going to deny someone the chance to come and help you out? Like it feels so good. I know there's a study. You'll have to have another presenter who's going to be like 42% or, Bonk and Bonk said in 1963. But here's what I know that when you are a person who asks for things, you are more likable even if it is asking at the table, can you pass me the ketchup? It makes you more likable. It is vulnerable to ask for help. It is a gift that you are giving other people. And when we don't ask for help, we're denying them the opportunity to show the love that we feel so good showing other people. I see some head nods. Yeah, I know how hard it is. I want you to think of somebody right now. Could be anybody who's your easiest person to ask something from? Okay, you got that person? We're going to come back to that. Um, People pleasers might say fine when they're not. People pleasers minimize how hard it is. How is it? It's fine. I'm doing okay. I'm doing fine. They worry about being a burden and they feel pressure to be the strong one. The strengths of the people pleaser are not surprising. They're beautiful. Of course, they're beautiful because you guys are going to resonate with these. They are kindness, empathy, and caring for others. These are so important, right? We don't want to lose any of those. But our sage reminds us that we matter too, and putting our needs aside for someone else devalues us. And again, this is the most important relationship that you have. When you put your needs aside for somebody else's, you're saying to yourself, you are more important than me. If you're at a restaurant and they give you your meal and your fries are soggy, okay? Is anybody going to do anything about that? Anybody here? You are. You're going to send it back, Erin? Love it. One of my favorite activities is to have my clients send one thing back every time they go to a restaurant. Could you add more ice? Could you cook this a little bit more? Could you swap this for this? It is so hard for people, but I'm just so curious if I'm not curious because this is also me. I will eat these soggy fries because I don't want to offend this 18-year-old waiter that I've never met and I will never meet again. He is not a part of my life. And what every time I do this, I'm saying to myself, your preference of not soggy fries is not as important as possibly offending this 18-year-old waiter that I don't know. But we don't have a role model for somebody who puts our needs first. Did anybody grow up with somebody who you saw on at 4 o'clock, like with their feet up reading a book? No. I need you guys to be the role model. I need you guys to be the role model for somebody who knows that you are worthy and you deserve a rest, right? In the chat, that person that you asked for help, I want you to think about who that person is in one small way that they can support you. So I don't want you to write the person's name who you're going to ask for help. I'd like you to write one small way that you can allow someone in to support you instead of having them be protected from your experience. Oh, yeah, love it, Steph. Reminding you to take a break. Yeah, that's great idea. Not sure how to do this, but for them to make what's important to me also important to them. Jennifer, I don't know that I understand that, but I'm happy to talk about that. Here,
I'm
how I
saying, like,
go ahead.
I was saying that, if they already know something's important to me, because I've voiced that so many times, it would be helpful if it was on their radar that I didn't have to repeatedly ask for that help. So it might be back to your example of cleaning dishes. Like, this is clearly something that's going to be important to me every single day to keep me settled when I'm going to bed, something like that. I
Yep.
wish it was already on their radar that that was important. I'm not sure how to get that to happen.
I hate to tell you this, but this is an opportunity for you to put in your boundary and saying what's important to you. And yes, it's your responsibility. I think I wish I could turn this into what we're talking about here, but I think it's on you to say, hey, this is important to me. Let's go. Hey, this is important to me. I'd like your help. Hey, this is important to me. Now's the time. Yeah. The problem with being a people pleaser and a hyperachiever and living with other people is that we've created patterns amongst them that they want to keep you in that place. I mean, I love all of my people pleaser hyperachiever friends. They're like, I'll pick up your kid, I'll make their food, I'll help pack their lunch, I'll do all these things. I'm like, great, have at it. And I know who to ask because they never say no. And not only do they do it, but they're like, yes, and it's organic. So people are going to continue to push that. It's called an extinction burst. And if you can imagine that they put pigeons in a cage and if the pigeon hit the tab, then the food came out and they got the pellet. Okay. So then they removed all the food and the bird would go and hit the tab and hit the tab. And next thing you know, the bird went crazy and hurt its beak because they thought hit the tab, get the food. And so when they take it away, there's this burst that happens before finally the bird's like, all right, I'm not getting it anymore. So those of us that say yes, those of us that do it all ourselves, there could be an extinction burst. And to be prepared for that. It doesn't mean that you're not doing the right thing by having this boundary. It just means that you should know that it's going to be hard for people to make that change when we were probably overdoing. Okay. Mm, Hear how I'm really feeling that day. Just hearing is so important. Not believing me when I say I'm okay. Erin, that's going to be maybe if we have time, I'd like to talk about that at the end. Have them pick up my kids up from an activity. Yes. Have them know that they can ask me at any time if I need help and I need to be honest in responding. Yeah. Just being honest. When someone says, what can I do for you? And what do you need? Taking that pause moment before you're like, nothing, I'm fine. Like, ask yourself, ask the most important thing, like, okay, do you need something? Could you just say, I'd love an ice water? Could you just say, can you hand me my glasses? Just start asking for little things and see what you notice. It's very connective. You will feel better and they will feel better. Um, how are we doing on time? 12 minutes. Do I have enough time for that? Hold, please. If you have any questions, put them in the chat box. And let me see. All right, I think maybe we will do hypervigilant. And let's do it. Okay. Moving on, speaking my truth without fear. Hell yes, please do it. Okay. Hypervigilant. We are all hypervigilant. It is how we survived. It is innate in us, and it is the idea that we are constantly scanning our environment for danger. Those of us who have received a diagnosis, I remember clearly, it was a beautiful day. Everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, the floor dropped out. So because that felt so bad, I need to be scanning for danger. Those of us who've been through treatment, we are constantly scanning for what could go wrong. This is exhausting. And this definitely keeps you out of your sage because that hypervigilant can start going crazy. Your body knows that unexpected things can happen. We need to override. We need to rebuild our presence muscles. We need to rebuild our sage so that it is at least equally as strong. Our hypervigilant, our mind is constantly scanning for what can go wrong. It gives us trouble to fully relax because you can't relax and look for danger at the same time. It scans our body for symptoms. It will spend more time on Google researching things that it shouldn't. It is what is part of being anxious before appointments and scans. And it is the major struggle with uncertainty. And it is telling a story in our mind about what might happen. And the only thing we know is what is here right now. When we need to come back to presence, we notice that we are scanning. We notice that we're Googling. We know that we're anxious. What brings us back to this moment is our senses. We can't allow that story to just go and go and go. It will add into fear and it will add into these predictions that aren't even real. I have been here for probably 20 years. My husband was diagnosed with cancer 6 months after we were married. And I scanned his body and I scanned him for the first 15 years. Then my sister-in-law got cancer and I was scanning her body. And then I got cancer and I was scanning my body. And here's what I have to tell you. I wasted 20 years of scanning. My husband is happy and healthy here today, waste of my scanning time. I am happy and healthy and here today, another waste of my scanning time. And there was nothing I could do for my sister-in-law. So we spend so much time scanning and worrying, and all we have is this moment right here. In our present moment, our sage moment, that's when you make your memories. You only make beautiful memories when you're present. When you're worried, you can't. So, how do we notice? I want to ask you, what does it feel like in your body when that hypervigilant is around? What do you feel? These are our signs, and we need to know them. Tension in the chest and shoulders. Great. That might be your saboteur sign. Knowing your saboteur signs is crucial. You got to know what your baseline is, your sage, and you got to know what your saboteur signs are as well. Tension in the chest and shoulders, sick to my stomach, vibrating, flushed, unfocused, internal anxiety, like internal pacing. Great. When you feel that, and this is where it really matters that you might only be able to do it for seconds at a time, but this is building that mental fitness. You notice, if you wrote something down, you notice that feeling and then you take action. How do you get back to this present moment? And we do that through our senses. Okay. Any of the things that we talked about, and I'd like to actually do it right now. We're just going to spend a minute coming back to that baseline for ourselves. So go ahead and close your eyes. I want you to start returning to your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your chest. See if on your next inhale you can feel the expansion of your ribs. Okay. Now I want you to notice your feet. Put all your attention on your feet, the furthest from your head. Okay. Now imagine the distance between your eyes. Imagine the distance between your ears. Imagine the distance between your shoulders. Imagine the distance between your hips. Imagine the distance from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. Put your thumb and index finger together. Start making your attention circles and notice how that feels. Now put your hands somewhere on your body, anywhere, and just notice the pressure. Notice the temperature. Notice how it feels to support yourself. This is a place of presence. This is a place of truth. This is a place of grounding. From this place, you can ask yourself, what is true right now without a story? What do I actually know in this moment? In this moment, am I safe? That's the sage step for hypervigilance. And you can come back to this at any time. When you're ready, open your eyes. Any questions about that? How do you all feel? Mhm. Good. Okay, relaxed and calm. I agree. You should not shit on yourself, but everybody's feeling more present. If you could remember anything from this call today, I want you to remember that that place of presence, it is in you. It is always in you. It has always been in you. You can find it anytime, and it is free. It is free. You don't have to go to a yoga class. You don't have to hire anybody. You have to set the intention that that is the priority and that no one, nothing is more important than getting to that place as often as you can. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking for developing a relationship. And maybe you haven't had a relationship with this person, which is you, in a really long time. I know I hadn't. And I thought I had. I think loving yourself is such a false summit. You're like, okay, I didn't love when before pre-cancer, people are like, you love yourself? I'm like, yep, I love myself. Then I had cancer and I was like, oh no, that wasn't loving yourself. This is loving yourself. I know how I got it now. I got it now. And now, like 3 years later, I'm like, no, even that wasn't loving myself. Now this is loving myself. And I'm sure if you ask me in a year, I'll be like, nope, that wasn't it either. So we're constantly like spiraling up on this relationship with ourselves. Um, Let me see. In the chat box, I'd love for you to write one thing that you want to remember about today. What's your souvenir? Yeah, commit. Yes. Stephanie, it took me a really long time to understand this, but everything is we are a bank and we make deposits and we make withdrawals. Things that you want to do that you do is still a withdrawal. We're constantly withdrawing. And the question that we ask ourselves is, what is a deposit for me and how do I deposit? And how can I make more deposits? Because we're constantly withdrawing. Even something that you really want to do is a withdrawal. So I appreciate that. All right, guys, I love your answers. Mm, okay. I'm happy to stay on for a couple minutes if anybody has any questions, but that's it for me for today. Oh, I wrote a book. It's a great book. It's called Grit and Grace. It is about what we talked about a little bit, but it's called How to Find Clarity and Optimism in Overwhelming Situations. And it's a little bit of my story, but it's also 12 specific pillars to um facing adversity. And I also write regularly on Substack, and I'll put that in the chat box because Substack's free. And I have a Substack that's similar to the book without any story. If I can find that, I'll put that in the chat too.
And I can email the link out too when you
Oh,
post in the chat. So
yeah, great.
this was great. Thank you. I love the topic.
Yeah, I'm super passionate about it. It's hard not to love it when super passionate about it. That's the Substack. Thank you guys for coming and thank you for having your cameras on. We couldn't have played the game without it.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks,
Okay.
everyone.
Have
Thank
a great
you.
day. Happy Friday.
Bye. Have a good weekend.